My brother, Jonte, he never seemed to struggle with that vice. I never struggled with the gambling addiction. I never I never struggled with that vice. God gave me a lot of money because maybe he figured I could handle it and not lose myself in that area. And maybe Jonte, he wasn't blessed with tons of money because he struggled with that area of the idolization of money. You
Yo,
know.
what's good, YouTube? It's your boy AJ. I'm here with Cypher and Rage. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe, follow us on Instagram at Nets Kingdom One. All our Twitters are scrolling at the bottom. So today's video is about Michael Porter Jr. A lot of we haven't really kind of dove into Michael Porter Jr.'s role this year. There's some quotes that leaked out. Basically, he got interviewed and was talking about that, on the Nuggets, there was a cap for him. Basically, he was just limited to being a catch and shoot guy. That was his role, and that was the only thing he could do. Now on the Nets, he said that he could expand his game, expand his role, be more than just a catch and shoot shooter. So I'm going to ask you guys, like, what do you think Michael Porter Jr. on the Nets will be different than Michael Porter Jr. on the Nuggets? Like, what do you guys see as, as far
I
as,
think I think what we're gonna get in terms of MPJ is just more shooting. I think we're gonna get more shooting.
yeah,
That's it. In Denver, like you actually have you got Jokic, you have Jamal Murray, you have other guys that are actually gonna go and get you a bucket. But we got Cam Thomas, and I don't know. We've seen MPJ's had his shot for a minute, and I think although it's a completely different type of retrospect of what we got going on right now, you know it, MPJ's just gonna get more of an opportunity to shoot the ball.
yeah. No, I agree. Go ahead, Saif.
Okay, so there are two different ways to view this. The positive way is MPJ was in a specific role on the Denver Nuggets where he was a spot-up shooter, a movement shooter, a cutter. And that specific role, you were just going to score the ball, and you were just inherently not going to have on-ball opportunities. Whether it be creation, whether it be assist opportunities. And now that he's off the Nuggets and he's on a team where he is essentially the first or second best player, regardless of whether or not they resign Cam Thomas or if they resign Cam Thomas.
Yeah.
I think there is an argument to be made that we are going to see offensive expansion where he is going to do more stuff where he's creating off the dribble, where he's going to be like the pick and roll ball handler and he's going to look to score. We might see a career high in free throw attempts, and we might see a career high in assists per game, frankly. Last season, he averaged 2.1, which is sadly his career high in assists per game.
Yeah. And when I think about Jordy's system,
more scoring, more assists. Now, the big question here is the efficiency. Now, MPJ shot nearly 50-40 last year. Can he maintain that efficiency without Nikola Jokic? Or the other way could be, he's just going to unload the clip and he's going to average 23 points on 40% shooting.
Yeah. When I think about Jordy's system, and I think there's a lot of playmaking, a lot of DHOs, pass. So it's I'm very curious to see if he's gonna bring, is Michael Porter gonna be an initiator on this team, or is he gonna kind of be just run plays? You know how they kind of worked with CJ, ran some pin down screens, him coming off screens, him coming off, dribble handoffs, or is he just gonna be because we don't really have a secure point guard on this team yet. I know we drafted 4 playmakers, but those guys are rookies. So it's you only can expect so much. So is Michael Porter going to be spoon-fed, or is he going to be more put in a situation as an initiator where he can play make and, throw lobs to Clax or, play make out the pick and rolls?
Now, another version of Michael Porter we could see is similar to Lauri Markkanen in Utah, where Markkanen became an all-star, a really high volume scorer, not because he got like more on ball opportunities, but because Will Hardy like ran more sets to give him like play finishing opportunities.
Yeah.
Spot up stuff, movement stuff, post stuff where he has to make a decision, either a pull up mid range shot or like a drive to the rim. Now that is also like a possibility. And look, MPJ is 6'10".
Yeah.
So he's got the size to like replicate that kind of play style. And frankly, he is like more of a play finisher, and he's like always been a play finisher. So I could see a scenario where if the system is like perfect, and Nolan, Demon, Cam Thomas, Seraph, like they do a good job of feeding him the ball.
Yeah.
Like I could see a scenario where he averages like 24 on like very good efficiency, and is like a very like similar to like a Lauri Markkanen type of player.
Yeah, that's fair enough, because I think with him, I don't want to see him actually initiate offense. Like, if for tank purposes, maybe I do want to see him initiate offense, because I just don't think he has it as an initiator.
It'd be funny to watch.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it will be very, very bad if Michael Porter Jr. is initiating the offense. Like, it'll be all time bad. It'll be very, very just nasty work. If initiating. But yeah, go ahead, Rage.
Yeah, I think we should see them we should there obviously like the possibility, like if there's actually like a possibility of him actually turning into like a 25 point per game guy, and like actually like being able to like get some of that finishing like back, it would be kind of insane to like think about. But I got to imagine that we'll have him like more of like in the like CJ type of role, although not necessarily the same type of player. Like asking MPJ to do a bunch of stuff offensively is, like we talked about, just like in terms of initiating like stuff offensively as a playmaker, like that doesn't necessarily have to be the role for MPJ. But I mean, hey, Owen ADC.
Like I said, for tank purposes, maybe I do want to see that. Maybe go ahead, Jordy, put him at the point for a game or something. Or, hey, might as well see it, right? At this point, because it's like, this guy is gonna be here for 2 years, so it's like, I don't think he has a trade market right now, because of his contract is just so insane. Like 38 this year, 40 next year. I just think we might be. Yeah, what do you guys think? Are we gonna be stuck with this guy, or you think if he does let's say he has the perfect season, and he's averaging 25 on 50, 40, 90 or something like, or not 50, 40, 70. Do you think there's a trade market for this guy, or is it?
Oh, okay. If he has like a serious like offensive expansion season where like he is showcased more, then yeah, I could see him getting traded for like an asset. But if he stays like a similar version of himself, where he's averaging like 19 a game, and he's like mostly like an off-ball shooter, and the efficiency is like similar, then it's like on his contract. Because here's the thing, though, we gotta understand, like, he didn't get the current version of MPJ is not a bad player, but the money is. Like, that's why he got traded. Like, if MPJ was making like 25 million instead of 38, the Nuggets would have kept him. They wouldn't have gotten the first round pick. So I think either there are two scenarios where he gets traded in the offseason. Either one, he gets so good that the Nets could get like an asset out of him, or because he's an expiring contract, like I could see a scenario where the Nets take another salary dump, where there's like another player, I can't think of who, but they're making like 50 million over the next 2 years, and then it's sort of like, okay, give us that contract and give us like another unprotected first.
Oh, you mean trade? You can trade him for another salary dump?
Bad contract, yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, he would be in the deal, then we would take the bad salary dump.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, go ahead, Rich.
Yeah, I think ultimately it's kind of like Saif talked about with MPJ. I think we're obviously like more likely to see like that type of like us being more like locked in terms of like these like next 2 years, because ultimately we could dump him when he's expiring, but like ultimately like and there could be a team that will like take a flyer, but you're probably not likely to get a team like that unless you like really attach like a first or something like that.
Yeah.
It would be crazy that if you were, obviously like to get that 25, 7 or whatever, on that, that 50, 40, 70, like there's obviously like much more of like a possibility of like a team, taking on, MPJ, but I think we're definitely more likely of just holding on to him for like these next 2 years and like, just seeing how everything plays out, because it's like ultimately like, this year isn't gonna, I don't think MPJ is gonna ultimately make or break our tank this year, although, he is obviously really going to help in terms of like, a scoring punch, because we really don't have anything outside of, him and CT.
Yeah.
But it's just really kind of that, like, it's there shouldn't be anything too much in terms of like a crazy, like improvement. But and even if we did, have him for like 2026 as well, 2026, 2027, it's not the worst thing of all time. You know what I mean? Like that's probably what's going to happen. But like, if we go and just trade for another guy who's going to be on contract for 40 or 50 mil, we're not doing ourselves any good.
Yeah. And in closing, like I don't see like Michael Porter like really improving to the point where his efficiency improves. I think it'll actually get worse because it's like we have no spacing on this team. Like the Nuggets at least had a little bit of spacing. Aaron Gordon was shooting at a high clip. You have Jokic, the ultimate guy, Murray. You had guys that, could create space, and floor space. So it's like on this team, we just have a whole bunch of just young guys that can't really shoot and can't really create for themselves. They have to be spoon-fed. So it's like outside when he like starts to create his own shot on this team, it's like he's going to take a bunch of them. And if he's not efficient, it's going to look bad because it's like a lot of these guys, this is saying if CT doesn't come back or the CT situation, barring the CT situation, it's like he has no one that can really pass to and be like, yeah, I could trust this guy. There's no one. There's no one. So it's like, how do I expect him to look amazing on this team? It's arguably the worst the worst roster of the NBA. It's like it's just hard for me to see him looking great on this team, because CJ's more of a team impact guy to me than MPJ. MPJ, from what I've seen, he's just been a selfish catch and shoot kind of guy. Like he's a black hole. When I watched him on the Nuggets, he was a black hole, and I don't know if that's going to change for me on the Nets. That's just my opinion, but I don't think it's going to change on the Nets. So.
Yeah, no, it would be insane that like, with our, if we have like a lineup where it's just kind of MPJ as our best scorer out there and he gets doubled. Like that's exactly. Actually a possibility. Doubles. Like MPJ's getting doubled and then what? Like he's just chucking something up.
Yeah, him getting doubled, it's a steal automatically to me. It's going to be just constant steals. Like he's not a playmaker to make out of double teams, in my opinion.
So. It's always interesting to see these types of players where there's clearly like talent, there's talent, there's skill, but they've always been in like one situation throughout their whole career. And then, they finally get traded and they're in a new situation and they're in a new context. And with him, look, he's still in his prime. Look, he's going to be 27 by the start of the season. Actually, he is 27.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting because there's a scenario we could be like Jeremy Grant in Detroit, where he is like putting up inefficient scoring, and it may not impact winning, but that could be enough to like raise his trade value. I don't know. It's interesting, or at the very least, it'll be fun to watch.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, facts.
Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe, and let us know in the comments. What do you guys think Michael Porter Jr. is going to have? What kind of season do you think he's going to have? What are your expectations for him going forward? Do you think he's going to look like a, the diamond in the haystack, or he's going to look like just trash and he's not going to look good? Let us know in the comments. We'll be back. Thank you guys so much.